Hey, what is up everybody, Epithemy here, and today I got another CSGO video for you guys, and today we're going to be talking about IGL tips. Now, this is a new series that I'm going to start, and it's called Improving on Roles, and so we're going to go over every single role. The first role, of course, I wanted to start off with IGL. I am the IGL for my CVO team currently, and so I just want to throw out some tips out there that have helped me out knowing these things, and will and can help some of you guys out if you guys don't know these already, or if you guys haven't really thought this far or this thoroughly into it. So the first tip that I have for IGLs is know how your team plays, okay? Every IGL should know this. When you're trying out a team or when you're going to be on a team and everything like that, you should always do scrims first. Scrims give you an idea of how your team's going to work and how your team's going to play. Not as a whole, and not like fully how they'll play in real matches, because everybody will take real matches way differently than they will take scrims. So if you do have a really good team and you are trying out people, then they might take it more seriously, because they might really want to be on the team. But you should really scrim first, and you should really get an idea of how your team plays. And what I mean by this is know who's aggressive, know who the aggressive players are on your team, know who the positional players are on the team, and know who the good aimer is, know who is another good guy that can help you out with strats and things like that. But there's so many aspects to it, and every person is different. I mean, that's just how it is. Every single person in the whole world is different. And everybody plays differently too, so you really got to know your team and know your team's play style, and then you could start placing people in certain areas, and you could start placing people who would work well together. Like if you have someone who's a positional opper, and then you have someone who's an aggressive rifler, you could have the rifler push up first and get some information, or even try and get a pick, and then you got that positional opper right behind them to go ahead and support them. Like, just examples like that is really good when you know how your team plays. Now, the second tip that I have for you guys is pay attention to the opposing team's strats. This is obvious. This is a no-brainer. You always want to pay attention to the other team's strats. But the reason why I put this in here, yes, it is a no-brainer, but the reason why I did put this in here personally is because when you can tell how the other people are setting up, when you can see their default, when you find their default, when you find what they like to do, it is very, very, very easily to place strats to counter what they do. It's so easy to do that, and not a lot of people think about that. They just kind of go, they try and run their strats don't work, then they kind of just forfeit or give up after that, and that's not what you're supposed to do. Your IGL isn't supposed to be able to do that, and you as an IGL aren't supposed to be the one giving up. You're supposed to be the one boosting your team up and being like, hey, you know what? Let's try this. Let's try something new. Let's counter this. Let's do this. You got to really pay attention to the other team's strats and find their weak points, and you got to base your strats off of them. And that's really what tip 2 is pay attention to the opposing team strats and base these strats off of them. Now, you could do this as a whole for every game, or you could do this just when your team gets down. Now, third tip that I have for you guys, once again, is a no-brainer, but it does help out a lot, is have a set default for your team on maps. So, say you're T-side Inferno, and your default is going to be, have 2 players go banana, have 1 go apps, and have 2 try and play mid. Then you're covering all the bases of Inferno, and you're getting the most map control, and you're either pushing the CT sides back, or with this default you will also have, you can get picks from just about anywhere, and everybody for the most part has the 2-on-2, so you can get the trade all the time. So having set defaults for every map is very important, because you can play that default to begin with, and then you can go from there with your strats, or you can go from there and see how the other team's playing, or see how the other team's set up. So having that set default is always good, because you can always run it. You can always run it in situations where either you're down, or situations where you want to get ahead and you want to get the advantage and you want to see how the other team plays. So that is definitely very good to have set default. Another tip that I have for you guys is IGLs, is to have a go-to strat for your team. Just how you have a go-to default and you have that default for the map, have a go-to strat. So what I mean by that is, if you're, say, CT side Dust 2, okay, you know how everybody plays the default 2-1-2. Well, maybe you could have a set strat of, like, maybe you could play too long. One play mid while that mid guy watches cat. Have one guy push into tunnels, and then have your last guy just stay on B just in case they rush tunnels and your guy gets picked tunnels. Have the default strats and the default setups and stuff like that, and that one go-to strat that will either always work. I used a CT side example. You don't really need CT side, like, you don't really have like those push plays and stuff like that on CT side. I just use CT side as an example real fast, just off the top of my head. But you really want to have that go-to strat on T side, so you can just do that strat, run that strat, not be afraid to lose. If you lose with that strat, oh well, that's just your go-to strat. Either you could win or you could lose. If you lose, then you have an idea of how the other team's playing, or if you win, then you have an idea of what works against the other team. So definitely have that go-to strat that you could go ahead and pull off. Whether it works or doesn't work is really up to how your team plays and how the other team's playing. Now, number 5 kind of just sums all of this up, and everything as a whole is just feel out the other team. Get an idea of how they play, get an idea of what they're doing, and these really will help out a lot. You could really base a lot of your strats off the other team, but you should always have the default setups, the default strats that you guys have down pat and that you always work on. Just little things here and there. I know this was pretty vague for the tip wise. If you guys want me to go more in depth when it comes to the other roles and show exact strats or stuff like that, if I could even talk right now, but then definitely be sure to leave it in the comments below. But I hope this helped some of you guys out with creating strats, or just some things that you may not have thought of, or just me expanding on some things when it comes to IGLs and things like that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. My name is Epithemy. I'll catch you guys with another video next time.
Hey, if you guys enjoyed this video, definitely be sure to leave a like. If you guys want to see more videos, definitely be sure to click one of the links in the description to go watch more of my videos. If you guys always want to see more, then definitely be sure to subscribe. My name is Epithemy. I'll catch you guys later.